Good evening, everyone. I am Achita, technical and non-technical team member of GDSC. Thank you all for coming. So this is the first offline GDSC session, and we are planning to conduct a series of other web development sessions. So HTML is the first one, and I'd like Sharon to introduce herself.
Hi guys, I'm Sharwani. I'm a non-technical and technical member of DSC, and Achita will be starting.
Okay, so before we get into detail about what is HTML, we'd like to first tell you about what is web architecture. So web architecture. So web architecture basically consists of three essential components, which is website, server, and IP address. So website is basically like the front end. So once you open a site, you can actually see the front, the front part of it, which is the part with which we interact. So for example, if you open the GDSC page, you can see that there are a few events coming up and then some stuff like what are we going to do next and stuff. So that is basically what a website is. And then there is server. So server is basically like the backend which stores and manipulates and manages the data. For example, if I want to book a ticket from say Bengaluru to Hyderabad, and I enter a few details like what's my name, age, and phone number, the cash, and the place from where I want to go, just Bengaluru to Hyderabad and stuff. Then my server handles all of it, stores it, and reverts it back in the time of need. Like if I enter the same credentials again, I can get my page back, like I can get my details back, like I've traveled from here to here in the past. And then there's IP address. Just like how its name signifies, IP address. It's like the address that we give to our website. It's basically the base of our website. So our website is identified by its IP address. So let me now go into detail about what is basic web architecture, which is website, server, and IP address. So I'm a huge K-pop stan. So if I would want to make a website on all the fans, the meetings, if I want to conduct some events, or something upon maybe the concert information or something, a meeting upon like just the fan chats and stuff, I can create a website and then I could get them to interact. So website will be the front end. So if I log into something and I can see the front end, which is maybe if I give some name, the name and the upcoming events and stuff, and the server. So basically it is needed to host my website. So I have created this website for K-pop stans and stuff, but then I have to host it so that people all over the world can access it. And website is basically hosted on an IP address. So if some XYZ person have logged on to Google and then searched for my website, without IP address, I don't think it is possible for them to get through my website. So, for example, like I can give a domain name to IP address. It's just like you've got a new contact, you've made a new friend, and you want to save their contact in your mobile. Like if my friend is Yashashwini and I want to save her contact in my mobile, it's just like domain name getting saved to an IP address. So with that being said, let's end about what is basic web architecture and let's move on to our main topic, which is HTML. So I'm sure all of you are familiar with what is HTML because we've had it in our previous semester. So would anyone of you like to tell me what is HTML?
It's used to design web pages.
Okay, that's right. It's used to design web pages. So basically, HTML is an acronym for Hypertext Markup language. Like HTML is the base of web development. It's the first step or the most initial step in web development because HTML is like very fast. Like we can learn it really fast and it's easy and it's efficient and it's baby steps of web development. And HTML, a basic HTML document consists of HTML tags and HTML attributes, and each HTML tag again consists of like several functions and other characteristics. So HTML is like quite useful according to me. So what do you guys think?
It is.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's know about the history of this wonderful coding language. So HTML was first created by Tim Berners-Lee and Robert Calvin in the year 1989, and since then I don't think the hype or the need for HTML has ever fallen down. Because no matter which coding language come into picture, like C or C++ or Java or anything, I'm not sure if any of them could actually, I can't say replace, but could surpass the need for HTML, because HTML is like the base of web development, because you can learn HTML first and then CSS. You can't learn CSS first and then HTML, right? Okay, so you guys know what CSS, right? So if you want to know what else is CSS, you have to attend the next session. So yeah, and then after the history of HTML, let's move on to why do we need HTML. So can any of you tell me a few benefits of HTML, because all of us have actually studied it. So
it's easy to learn and it's faster way of it's easy to understand. Also, if you have debug it, it's easier way to understand where you're going from.
okay, anyone else?
Basic structure of website.
Okay, those were some really good answers. So as you said, HTML is really easy to understand and it's efficient and it's the basic structure of a web application. So HTML can be used in like various ways. If, as I mentioned earlier, if you are some keyboards and want to make a website, it can be used in that. And if your dream is to open a bakery and then sell stuff online, then you can create a website to market it online. And it can be quite useful in many ways. So what do you think is the base for HTML, like the structure of HTML? What do you think the most essential part of HTML is? So let me tell you the structure of HTML. So the doc type here is basically, it tells the web browser which version of HTML we are using. Can any of you tell which is the current version of HTML? Yeah, so the current version of HTML we are using is HTML5, and not only like HTML5, we can also use other declaration types to, tell the version, the other versions of a web browser. And then after doc type, we can see the HTML tag. So the HTML tag here is basically, it's a very important element, because it tells our web browser that we are using HTML as a code and also the language. We can see that HTML language is equal to EN in the basic structure. So the EN there stands for English, which means that all the text we show is in English. And then we see head. So this head is actually a very special behind the scenes element, because all the other tags that which do not get displayed on the screen come under the head section. And then we have body. Okay, as the name body signifies, it's basically the whole of the HTML. Like you can use images, videos, text, links, and all the stuff in body. So all the basics of your HTML, all the information in your HTML comes under the body. And one important last thing that I would like to mention is that there can be many tags like paragraph, H1, H2, but there must be only one doc type or one title or one body tag in the whole of the web page. So with that being said, I'd like to hand over the session to Shalwani.
So just like we write articles, we have the title, we have the heading, we have the head, the body. Now the same thing when we open a website like on Google, we see the same thing. Now to structure it in an organized manner, we have to use HTML, and there are different tags which we need to use to make sure we get what we want. So we have tags. Tags is a part of the markup language which defines the HTML document. It mentions when it starts and when it ends. So this is the syntax for a normal tag. Most of the tags have the end tag, but such tags such as the break tag, we don't really need it. So there are different types of tags. As Archita mentioned, we have to start with the doc type one, which tells the browser what version of HTML we're using. And after that, we have three kinds of section tags. We have HTML, we have head, body, and footer. So after that, we have the heading tags. So if you want to make a heading bowl, like how we see in the newspapers, we have something huge right at the top. We have to use heading tags. H1 is the one which has the largest size, like largest font size. and H6 has the lowest one. And we have paragraph tags as well. If you're like typing a paragraph, you'd use that. And images, we use the image tag to embed images in the website. And anchor tags are used to insert hyperlinks. And we have table tags. I guess it's obvious from the name to make tables. So today we'll be creating a form using HTML. So we'll have to open a text editor. So we're going to be using VS Code. And whatever tags you put on the text editor, you can't see it on the web browser. So I'll be showing you that today. Okay, so today we're going to be creating a HTML document, and you can see this on the web browser. So I'll give you the step-by-step instructions on how you do this. So this is VS Code, a text editor. Now, if we want to create a HTML document, you can go here, type in the name of the file which you want. So I'll name it DSC1, and the extension has to be HTML or HTM. Okay. So as Achita said, we have to start the HTML document with doc type HTML. And we have to put HTML. And in today's session, we're not using the head tag. That's mainly used for embedding JavaScript source files or the CSS part, and that will be covered in the next sessions. So I'll directly start with body. So for the heading, we're going to use H1. So H1 is the tag over here, and we can specify attributes. Attributes are used to define the characteristics. So I can put align, center. Yeah, so if we open it on the web browser, we can see that we get the heading. And after that, if you want to put an image, we have to use the image tag. So image and src is an attribute which is the link for the image. So if you go online and type like pizza or something, you can go to images and copy the link. And just paste it over here. Or you could also download the image and save it and copy the relative path and put that. But for now, I'm just going to put the link. And make sure to always end the tag. So if we save it, we can see it now. Yeah. And for the forms part, I'm going to be creating a table which includes the forms part to make it more organized. So we have to start with the table tag, and you can mention attributes such as width, like how much the table will cover. And you can even include the style attribute, which is actually a CSS thing. But since we don't want it to be too plain, we'll be using it today. You can put some random one. I'll put blue. And close it. You can have tables with borders and without borders as well. So to start the table row, you have to put TR, which stands for table row, and then we have TD, which is like each cell in the row. So this is the first cell. So if we want to put, if we want to collect the customer's name, you'd have to include the input type text, because we're receiving text, and we have to close it. And we can include the paragraph tag here as well. Input name and save it. If you go here, you'll get name. Okay, I'll change the color. Okay, now I guess you can see it. And after that, we'll include radio buttons. So for that, it would be input type, the same thing, but the type would be radio. And let's say we want the pizza topping, so we can put onion. So I've saved it, and now if I refresh it, we get radio buttons, and we can choose. Oh, we actually have to use the name attribute. Then we can pick only one. So we have to include name. Okay, now we can pick one of them. And similarly, we can use the same thing for checkbox, but the type would be just checkbox instead of radio. We also have one more thing, which is textarea. And we have rows and columns. So this would help you figure out how big you want the box to be. So I'll put 5 and columns as 4. So you get a text area over here. I know this is kind of plain, but you can add heading tags anywhere you want. And if you want the table to be in the center, you can put align equal to center. And with the style attribute, you can change many things like the table color border. And yeah. So similarly, using the same kinds of things, you can make something like this. You can make something like this. This is using checkboxes. This is actually a drop-down menu. You have to use the select tag. And this is the text area. And this is a submit button. You're going to have to put input type equal to submit. And the value, you're going to have to put what you want in that button. And for this background, you can use the style attribute, which is a linear gradient. And there are many text decorating tags such as underlining and bold.
So everyone, that was all about it. So do anyone of you have any doubts regarding the forms or the whole presentation that we've done? Okay. Please do visit our further session using CSS, JavaScript, and creating portfolio. We'll be informing you the grades. Thank you.